This is game one of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Sixers, Hawks, and well, Joel Embiid playing. And that's all really that needs to be said about this series. I mean, I'm going to be frank here. The Eastern Conference, the 76ers have just been disrespected all year long, and I've kind of been ignoring it, but you can't really ignore it for too much longer, so let's talk about this. Before, you were hearing stuff like the Washington Wizards could maybe take a couple of games or two. They only took one, and the only reason they took that one is because the injury happened on the fly, and we didn't have a good substitution pattern for game 4. We corrected that in game 5. So, there was that. People actually thought that the Washington Wizards, I feel like the average margin of victory was maybe about 17 points a game. So yeah, people thought that Washington was going to actually pose a challenge to the number one seed in the Eastern Conference. Now it's Atlanta's turn, and Atlanta has a very similar portfolio to the Wizards. You have a bad start of the year, you weren't in playoff contention, they fire... who is the name again? Lloyd Pierce. Lloyd Pierce, the former lead assistant on Brett Brown's staff, so that should tell you everything you need to know right there. They fire Lloyd Pierce, they bring in Nate McMillan, they go on a nice second half run, and they beat the Knicks. Yippee! We would have beat the Knicks. With or without Joel Embiid, we would have beat the Knicks. And here's a spoiler alert prediction. With, which we now know will with, or without Joel Embiid, we will beat the Atlanta Hawks in a 6-game series, 5-game series. With Joel Embiid, may very well be another 4-game series. It's the Hawks. It is the Hawks. You know, John Collins is a pretty decent player. Clint Capella is nice. See where I'm going with this? Bojan Bogdanovic. Come on. Let's get real here. The Eastern Conference this year has been trash. Trash. Washington, Boston, Indiana, New York. And it goes on and on. Like, you know... One of our dudes, DJ Eastwood, he summed it up best. He's like, they have to get their clicks, they have to get their, they need to hype this up, but it's the Atlanta Hawks. It's Atlanta. If Atlanta takes 2 games, I will be shocked. If Atlanta does take a game with a healthy Embiid, I will be somewhat shocked. This is the Atlanta Hawks. They're a year away from a year away. They got a favorable first-round matchup with New York. If they ended up matching up with Miami, I feel like that would have been a different series, despite how Milwaukee dispatched Miami. That would have been a different series if Atlanta had to play Jimmy Butler. That's how the playoffs go sometimes. You get a nice, favorable first-round matchup, and you advance. Great job. Not taking anything away. You got some nice young players. You put some cap into some veterans. Who knows if they can really build around Trae Young, but I guess that's a question for the Hawks' future. Not really my concern, but you have no chance in hell winning the series. Flat out none. You know it, I know it. So they just needed to drum this up. Like, literally, the point per game difference in the regular season. Sixers average 115 against the Hawks. The Hawks only average 97 against us. It is what it is. It's going to be another one of those. It's going to be a 4-0, 4-1, maybe at the worst 4-2. I'll be semi-shocked. And if it is 4-2, it means that young players play hard. It meant that Trae Young did what he did against the Knicks. Kept them alive. 30-point scorer. Great dude. Trae Young's going to be a future in this league. But all in all, they're not taking 4 from us. I don't even think they'll take 3 from us. And again, I really realistically think that at best they'll only take 1 from us. So this is going to be a week of basketball. Hopefully Joel Embiid stays healthy through it. And you're able to beat this team, maybe get a blowout or 2, be able to rest your guys. Because the only round of significance, and I thought this way from the beginning, is the Eastern Conference Finals. As a matter of fact, they even quote Doc Rivers, we want the whole cake. And if your goal is just to get past the Atlanta Hawks, this is not the Brett Brown Sixers. We don't have the need of clinging to the second round as if it's life or death. This is the year that we get beyond the second round. This is the year that we get beyond the second round. And we're going to get beyond it pretty easily because the Eastern Conference is weaker than at any point it has ever been. Kawhi left, LeBron left. We're sitting on the totem pole because we're the only ones really here. Besides Kevin Durant, James Harden goes out with the injury, his hamstring and his Achilles is acting up again. And for the Nets' future, forget just the playoff run, this future, it's very possible that the Nets don't end up with a championship. It's just like what they did with Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce. It may end up being the same mistake all over again. I digress. That's the Nets' problem. Point is, we're the king of the jungle, and we're the king of the jungle until you actually beat us 4 out of 7 times. And I don't think that's going to happen this series. And it may not happen the next series. Blake Griffin played out of his mind. If you can get role players to shoot the ball, and if you can force Giannis into bad shots, maybe the Bucks aren't as unbeatable as you might have believed based off of terrible scheduling with bicep form at that point with us injured and the West Coast trip. We had the worst second half schedule of anybody. That was absurd. That was the worst scheduling I think I've ever seen in a while, where you go on one major West Coast trip, then you're back home for 2 games. Then you go back on another coast trip. And it's like, are you serious? Like, why didn't we just stay on the road? What was the point of those 2 regular season home games? If anything, it disadvantaged the home team. That was a terrible, those were conference losses. I feel like in the playoffs, healthy, with a regular rotation schedule, I feel like we can compete with the Hawks. I'm sorry, not with the Hawks, with the Bucks. We know we can compete with the Hawks. But with the Bucks, with a normal schedule, we can compete with the Bucks. Will that result in a series win? I don't know, but it gives us a fair shot, just how they have a fair shot. I'm looking forward to the Eastern Conference Finals. Some might say big bloated head, but I say the regular season points to it. The rosters point to it. I'll give it to Atlanta to be the Cinderella of the Eastern Conference, but I just don't think that's happening. I don't think that anyone realistically thinks that's happening. So who'd my game 1 pick for player of the game? Actually, I'm going to go with Tobias Harris. We need Tobias Harris to step up. I don't know how much of Joel Embiid we're going to get. I don't know how dominant Joel Embiid is going to be. So I need Tobias Harris to be what he was in the Washington series. Give me 25 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, good defense from Tobias Harris. Give me who Tobias Harris has become in this playoffs, and it's a wrap. My final score predictions will be 110, 102, Sixers, of course. Sixers go up 1-0. And, well, they have to find a new way to drum it up. Because, well, Shaq, funnily enough, said that the Hawks would beat us and buy it. This is how disrespectful it's been. Even without Joel Embiid, Hawks and buy? Really? The Hawks are going to beat us 4 times and we're only going to get 1. Really, Shaq? Really? We won 49 games. We're the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. But we're only going to get 1 game? Really? So when we win today, and I'm sure we will, the next question will be, well, Shaq, are they going to sweep us the rest of the way? No, they're not. The Hawks. I'm going to close on this. They're the Hawks. They're the Atlanta Hawks. Stay chill. Stay calm. In fact, let me put it this way. Although the Hawks are better defensively than Washington, they're not anywhere close to what Washington presented offensively. Westbrook and Beal, the transition. If you weren't, on point in your transition defense, you were going to give up a lot of points. That Washington backcourt was no joke. Kevin Huerter is They had Chris Dunn, DeAndre Hunter, go on, and it's Trae Young and a bunch of kids. It's nothing compared to what Washington brought to the table offensively. I'm sorry. You beat the Knicks. Congratulations. That's as far as it goes. Hopefully in the offseason, the Hawks general manager is able to make some moves to get some pieces around Trae Young. Because that boy, Trae Young, and what he's done, he definitely deserves to go on a championship run. The way he just... we need that in the NBA playoffs. We need that. But it's just not going to happen against the number 1 seed in the conference. It is what it is. Six of the universe. Peace.